We are live, Preeti.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah. So are we good to go?
Yes, go for it.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Kalpana Chowdhary, founder of Social Tables, managing trustee and chairperson of Seva Foundation, Being the Change, and Lagna.com. Lagna.com is a matrimony portal for differently abled and acid attack survivors. I'm also a global Goodwill ambassador for serving humanitarian and active member of FICCI Flows, CII, IWN Maharashtra, Women Economic Forum, and TEDx speaker. Before diving into the guest introduction, I would like to take a moment to introduce you with Social Tables. Social Tables is committed to sustainable development program with societal well-being and environmental consciousness. Social Tables focus initiatives are education, health, livelihood, village transformation, environment, cultural activities, ecotourism, financial inclusion, skill and vocational training. Hello, Preeti. A warm welcome to you on our show, Social Tables.
Namaste, Kalpana, and namaste to your wonderful audience. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be with social tables, rather, and I can't wait for our conversation this evening.
Wonderful. I'm excited too. Today, we have Miss Priety Upala, who is a former investment banker from Australia, who is now a multimedia personality and entrepreneur based in Los Angeles. She is also a political editor for The Observer and columnist for Foreign Policy News, Time of Israel, and many more. Her expertise is in the area of geopolitics, international diplomacy, conflict resolution, counterterrorism, Middle East politics, US India relations, religion and peace, etc. She is an international speaker. She has had the privilege of taking part in several elite summits, such as the Women Economic Forum, Horace's University of Zurich, Wellness Dubai 360 IFSEC, India, and many more. She has also spoken at the international think tank, including the prestigious Observer Research Foundation in Delhi and BRICS International. Hello, Ms. Preeti. A very warm welcome to you on our today's speaker series. It's our utmost pleasure to have you here with us today. So, in today's discussion, we are going to talk to you about geopolitics and world economics. Moving forward to our very first questions. Countries across globe experience nationwide lockdown due to the pandemic, and it has been a long period of retrospection and introspection for everyone. How did you spend your quarantine? What was your learning?
Wow. Well, for me, maybe I'm the only person in the world that has had such a positive last 4 months. Now, I took this time to really do several things. Firstly, going inward. This is the perfect time to meditate, to pray, to do your chanting, to read, and so on. So I'm definitely, my spiritual path was the most important thing for me. I definitely took time out every day to do that. And we've seen that those who are sort of only half baked in as far as spirituality goes, because you see that a lot here. I'm in Los Angeles, California
Everywhere.
right now, and there were all these so-called yogi types here, but now the yoga studios are closed down. Nobody's practicing yoga because they were not doing it really for the right reasons anyway. And the same goes with other spiritual modalities, so nobody was really doing their sadhana.
Hmm.
But for myself, I made sure I took the time out, did a lot of contemplation, and of course meditation. I am writing a book at the moment, so I took these 3 months to really focus on my writing, including I sort of won a scholarship to do a Himalayan writers retreat, actually
Wow.
about 2 months ago, and we did it online, but
Congratulations.
it was for 5 days. It was amazing. So I'm so blessed that I was able to do a writer's retreat, and that really pushed me to go ahead with my book. and get it done, because 3-4 months you could definitely write a book in that period. So I'm sort of halfway into it now. So that was one thing. The second thing was I wanted to make sure that my time was spent wisely. So I have my own show, of course, on YouTube and also the radio. But every day I had either a podcast or a news interview or a lecture or a media engagement almost every day for the last 2 or 3 months, I would say. So it's been amazing, I think, to get so much content out. But I've enjoyed, I think, the lectures that I've given, very similar to this, these amazing Indian Bharatiya platforms where either I was talking about Sanatana Dharma or I was talking about geopolitics and the New World Order and COVID and so on. And it's been a pleasure to interact with students. So for me, it's been very positive. I think this is all Maya anyway. Look, you just have to do your karma, right, while you're in it. But it was 3 or 4 months, I think, very wisely spent. And moving forward, I think things will ease up. And I have all my speaking engagements and my various other projects ready to go. So it's been, I think we all needed the pause. Even I needed it for my own spiritual sanity, let's say. But it's been very positive. I've been healthy. I've been happy. Make sure I work out every day and go for a walk, be in nature and stuff. And it's been perfect weather here. So I think we are very lucky here in Southern California that we were blessed with good weather to be able to go for walks every day and so on. So it's good. I think we all needed a little bit of a reset, and the whole world, I think, is going through a reset right now.
Absolutely, very well said. It's indeed a retreat, and also yes, it does give us a lot of worrying when we see people are getting into this whole coronavirus and falling sick, and there are a lot of people who have also lost their lives, sadly. Prayers. So, all right, what is your take on Indo-China conflict?
This is interesting. It's almost like deja vu, I think, because in 1962, something very similar happened. It was the same region, I believe, the Galwan region. The same thing, it's the standoff situation. And then, of course, we had a war a few years after. And we sort of, in the several decades that followed, we ended up giving up some land and territory that really we shouldn't have given, that really technically belongs to India. But anyway, we are where we are. Um, I think when I look at the Chinese, I don't think they've really changed in the last 100 years or so. I think they are very consistent with their world strategy of global domination. They have been wanting this for at least a century, if not longer. And all their leaders keep pushing the same goal ahead. And I think Xi thinks he's the man to take it all the way. But of course, the thing that stands in the way is a country called India. Now, most people think that uh, China sees the US as its greatest threat. I actually don't think so. I think China sees India as its greatest threat because China wants to be the king, of course, of the world, but it has to start with Asia. And, in Asia, I don't think anyone can say that it is the greatest power in Asia or the only power, because it's really between India and China. And I think the world views India as superior on many, many levels. So, and they know, and China knows this. That's one thing. So also the demographic situation, because India is a very young demographic. I think the median age is maybe 26, and we have the largest under 35 or under 30 population. We have the largest young workforce in the world. And you compare that with China, that's an aging population. They only have another 10 years, and then they will have a lot of people going into retirement, probably a lot of unemployment, and just the numbers don't look good for them, and they know that. So they have all of these things are really aggravating them, and they feel like they have to topple India or do something to sort of stop its progress, because they know what's coming for them, and it's that age of humiliation is coming. So
Mhm.
this little conflict is, I'm not surprised. I think it would have happened at some point. Uh,
Mhm.
they chose to do it while the pandemic is happening, which is really very, it's horrible, on their part. It tells us, I think, what sort of a country they are. I think the whole world can see what they're about. I think India has shown great force and power. They have not retreated. They have steered them and make sure. I think they've both have de-escalated at this
Yes.
point, and I believe the Chinese have gone back further a little bit, which is good. But their strategy always is retreat and then come back stronger. So I have a feeling in the next few months or month, they will be back with a vengeance. And I think they will be even more aggressive this time. So I think India needs to be very alert. I think the next few months are very, very vulnerable. We could have more of the similar. And then, of course, we don't know about the other border, what happens. We might have the two front situation, which, I mean, we can handle it, but it's it's a lot. One border is hard enough. I think two is a bit much. So I hope we do the right thing. I think we have very good, a fantastic military, great people leading our army, especially in that region. So we will be, I think, ready for it. But I think the best thing that has come out of this COVID is the world can see what kind of a power India is and what kind of a power China is. And they can ask themselves, what kind of a superpower do we want in the next 50 years? And I think the answer there's
Yes.
one that, so this is a good thing in the long run. It's just very sad that we've lost some lives, and hopefully we won't be losing more lives just for this sort of, petty situation. But I think overall, in the end, the whole world backed India on this, and especially US has really come out, I think, and backed it strongly, which is it's sending out, I think, a signal to China.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you. And we also have a strong leadership of Narendra Modi and Ajit Dovalji, who is really handling the situation quite well. So I'm sure China cannot act too smart with us. Anyways, going further. Recently, the US President Donald Trump on Wednesday threatened to cut off funding to schools that do not open in the fall and criticized a federal health agency's guidelines for reopening school as very tough and expensive. What is your view on this?
That's that's a very tricky thing. I think the US, I must say, has not handled this pandemic very well. I think of all the great powers and democracies, I think it has sadly, it started off well, but I
Hmm.
think at some point it lost its way. And again, we had all of those protests and riots and people basically just hijacking the whole situation and taking advantage of it. And the civil sort of energy out here, atmosphere, let's say, is not good. There's a lot of divide. There's a lot of animosity. There's all sorts of people that are over kind of hijacking this movement to begin with. So on the one hand, you want to protect lives and so on, and do the right thing by your country, but on the other hand, the economic hit that the world has taken and the US has taken is actually not sustainable. And I think that if we go into a recession, which I think we might, uh, that will end up killing more people than any health thing ever could. So I think somebody needs to weigh this out and do the right thing. I think maybe a good solution might be open it up slowly. Maybe the regions that are least, it seems to have the least number of cases, they can slowly open up. I think definitely, uh, I mean, schools are one thing. You could do it online, I guess. The university situation is a little different, considering you have all these international students, including a lot of Indian students stuck here. And now they're saying that if the university doesn't go in person, and if it's going to go online, then these students must go back. And that's tricky because I don't know, they might prefer to stay here. Um, as long as they don't lose their student visa status, I think if they have to go, they have to go. So I really think the US has mishandled and misread the situation. I don't know. I had sort of faith in this administration maybe 3 months ago, um, but now it's tricky, and then there's an election coming. So now the focus is on how do we win this election and so on. So I do think that they have to really start opening up businesses, because I think the financial hit is going to be unsustainable. Now they're talking about a second stimulus that's going to be maybe another, I don't know how many billions. It's just costing a lot. And I think that there are better ways to make sure that people are healthy, because you have to look at who's at risk, right? If it's people who are over 70, for example, or people who have health conditions already, well, maybe you should make sure that they have stricter laws imposed on them. But some 25-year-old student, if they need to go to university or school, they should be able to do that, because they usually have good immune systems, they're very healthy, they don't usually get sick, and they heal very quickly. I just don't think it's right to shut everything down. So I am on the side that's saying open, and I mean, I don't know about finding people who don't open. Maybe that's a little abrasive considering everything that's going on. But I do think that there should be support from the federal level for businesses to start, So I really want to see travel come back. I think the travel industry in America is a big industry with the airlines and all that. That has been hit very badly, and I really want to see them open up travel, I think, domestically as well as internationally a little bit.
Absolutely, that's a very good take on it, and very well put, and very good suggestions as well. So, which sector do you think will boost and review the economy of a country tremendously in post-COVID-19 world? As you just said, now there's a travel industry also have impacted, and then school. So, which are the other industries do you feel that?
Yeah, definitely travel. So different countries will have different industries. I mean, when I look at India, I think, look at soft power, right? I mean, this is a time when Indian pharmaceuticals should really take a good look at what they're doing, and this would be the time for them to really make their mark, because India is actually could be a manufacturing hub for pharmaceuticals. I don't think that we should ever compete with China for other things. I don't think that's the sort of country that we are anyway. But for pharmaceuticals, I think absolutely we can do that. And there are only a few countries in the world that can produce that much to service so many billions of people, and India is one of them, along with the US actually. So definitely pharmaceutical industry, and I think this is where soft power comes into play. So Ayurvedic, yoga, spirituality, anything to do with Indian culture, Sanatana Dharma, anything Indic, anything Dharmic. This is the time when those industries, whether it's books or products, definitely Ayurvedic products, skincare, supplements, new concoctions, whatever. This would be the time, both in India to sort of get it going and start marketing and exporting it, because I think there is a huge market. Even in the US, everybody's obsessed with ginger, turmeric, all these amazing herbs, and they are looking to alternative solutions. And I think only we can provide them, because it is native to us, right? It's our sort of, this is our technology, our wisdom and philosophy. So we must really take the plunge. Um, Technology, I think, is India's always done well. They could continue with that. I think we have such entrepreneurs, and this is a good time for startups, apps and technological advancements, environmental things. I think we can have reforms, but also we can come up with solutions like things like solar and all sorts of energy advancements. I think we could be the world leader in that. I think with the solar thing, we kind of already are. But there is so much that we can export, I think, not just showcase, but really start selling things. And I think the government should either help the companies to do that, or they should just get out of the way. They shouldn't make it difficult for private Indian companies to do what they need to do overseas and sell things, make business deals, whatever, get investment, get FDI and or collaborations with US companies. They should have assistance for that. And I think this is a good time for India to really partner up with allies. Israel, US, UK, Australia, Japan, South Korea. These are this is
countries.
the time when we can do so much together, and we need to show the world that basically there's two sides, and there is the Quad and a few others, and then you've got China and its allies, the couple of allies that it has. And I really think that India needs to maybe step up and show the world that it is ready to be the world leader that I think the whole world has been waiting forever. I don't think it's about anybody giving us an opportunity. I think everyone's waiting for us to step up, and we just never took that final step. I think this is the best time to do it. And I think if you don't do it now, then I'm not so sure when you will ever do it. So yeah, I have faith. We do have good leadership, but we're bogged down with other
But
bureaucratic issues
yeah.
and so on.
So are you aware of Narendra Modi going this Atmanirbhar Bharat, buy local, be local?
Yes, I think it's fantastic.
So we are
Even
there.
before, yeah, I think it's great, and we should have done that a long time. Not only be self-sufficient, but I think start, exporting this to the world, because I think the world wants what we have to offer. What we offer is of good quality. We are, honest actors. We are respected. People like us. They have to do business with China, but nobody likes China. Everybody likes India, but because of our own reform situation or bureaucratic problems, we make it difficult to do business with other countries. But other than that, they actually want to get involved. So we need to clear it up and make it, I think, easy for them to come in and for us to do what we need to do.
Absolutely. That's why US and UK companies and the industries which were in China have, I think 80% of them have shifted to India. So that's a huge thing which has happened to us. So yeah, because they trust India.
That's true.
Yes. So what are your views on the socio-economy impact of COVID-19?
Wow, COVID has affected the world, I think, on so many levels. Socioeconomic is definitely one thing. I think we have realized that how entrenched the whole world was in the global supply chain, how over-dependent the whole world was just to some countries. We didn't even realize the sort of setup that we had that was going. And now that this has happened, now we know exactly what sort of system there was, who set it up, who is benefiting from this. It's all very clear right now. So, it's been a lot of time, I think, for contemplation for especially these Western powers who claim that they're, that they dominate the world, but they were actually not well prepared. They didn't see this coming. They were unable to handle it, and also they were definitely a pawn, let's say, in this global supply chain. They were not leading it. So we need globalize. Look, diversity is a good thing. I've traveled a lot. I've lived in 5 different countries in my life. I think diversity, multiculturalism is an amazing thing. Indians are such good migrants. They're the best immigrants, I would say, anywhere in the world. So that's good immigration. But I think this globalism has had a lot of problems with it, because it's unvetted kind of mass migration of sort of people with incompatible values. This, it happens with India, it happens with the US, UK, all of these, everybody's suffering. So I think we need to question what kind of immigration we want and what kind of global system supply chain do we want? I think almost every country is now forced to be more protectionist. They are going to be more self-sufficient, sort of start making things themselves, or work only with their allies, and kind of keep to themselves a little bit. That's not a bad thing, actually, because at least then you won't be entrenched so much. So there's a fine line. You don't want to shut yourself off, or else you'll become like North Korea, which nobody wants. But the other alternative is you also don't want to be so entrenched that it's like something that happens on the other side of the world completely collapses your economy. That is not the way that any country should be set up. So socioeconomic ramifications are one thing. I think the geopolitical ramifications are even more important, where now the whole world has seen what kind of a power China is and will be if it emerges even more. And I think there's a clear shift. I think we see the West, we see the US, and I would say more UK and EU sort of kind of really coming down a little bit. With they're just not the world power that they used to be 50 years ago, and I don't think they'll ever come back to that point. I think in fact they might even sort of mellow down even more, which leaves, I think, really India only to rise. And of course there are some other great nations too. The US is always going to be stable. It's not going to be number one forever, but it'll always be the top three. But I think this is a great chance for India to come up, work more closely with its allies, but show the world that what dharmic leadership looks like. Because I think we are maybe the only country in the world that can have that kind of governance. And I think we need to showcase it to the world. And this is the best time to do it. So I do think that we have a role to play, and we need to make sure that we play it.
Yeah, we are playing it well as well globally. Yeah. All right. So what do you think are the key issues and around development of 5G network? Is the world ready for it?
5G is very scary. I am not crazy about 5G. I think, firstly, I don't know if enough studies have been done to measure the health ramifications of 5G. I get a feeling it's much more dangerous than it appears to be. I think before you implement it around the world, I think more studies need to be done, and you need to get some concrete research analysis to show you, is this a big microwave? Are we just going to fry ourselves? Because we don't need it. I think technologically, in terms of connectivity and all that, I think we are doing well. I don't see why, making all of this twice as good. I mean, is that really going to make our life better? I think we have also seen with technological advancements, other problems arise too, health problems, relationships are breaking down, people are addicted, they're obsessed with social media, they're obsessed with their phone. All they do is be on their phone 24/7. There's no room for any interpersonal relations, and where's the social skills, and this feeling of the people are more disconnected than ever. So we need to ask ourselves, how much technology is too much. I am not a big advocate of 5G. I also think that a country like India, most definitely, we should not be using Huawei or any Chinese 5G provider. To be very honest, if you ever rolled something out like that, I think, look, we have some of the best minds in the world. I'm sure we can get together enough people to roll out our own. I don't see Chinese or American scientists any smarter than us. I think we can work very hard, and we are very creative and all that. So we should be having homegrown 5G or homegrown whatever next level. I think in connectivity, I think that should be plenty. I think rolling out 5G without doing adequate research will be very dangerous. If there are health issues, it might be too late, because these things, once it kind of rolls out, it'll be out there in the ether, so to speak, and the damage will be long lasting, and I don't think it's reversible. So I think we need to be very careful with 5G for sure.
Very well said. I totally agree with you because this 4G, 4G itself is a task to handle and deal with it. Even the children, the babies at home who is 1 and 2, they need mobile phone. Without that, they can't even eat food. So all the time they are on the net. And we have seen the impact as well. They are getting spectacles very soon. They started
Yes.
wearing, yes. Yeah, so there are a lot of other health issues which comes up with this thing. And imagine 5G, it is not reversible, definitely. Lastly, what is your take on feminism?
Wow, this is a big topic. So my book, the one I'm writing right now, is actually on feminism. This is a topic that I'm very passionate about.
I was asking you after this, I wanted to know about your book. So
Oh,
that
this is good because we can do both
together,
issues in one.
wonderful. Yes, yes.
So I'm a writer. I've been writing my whole life. I used to write short stories and essays when I was young, and then now I'm a journalist. I write on geopolitics for outlets around the world. I actually write on China and CPEC, PRI, terrorism, all of those very interesting topics. But my dream is to be a published author, and I just think this is the time for me to write a book. And I actually started writing another book on ancient Indic Vedic wisdom. But
Wow.
then this idea came up, this specifically feminism, and I thought, no, this is the book that needs to come out first. So this will be my first. So the book I'm writing is a critique on Western framework of feminism. And
Mm,
then I introduced Shakti, which is the Indic version of feminism, because I think that the Western feminism, what it's morphed into, is very dangerous right now. It's not working in the West. Trust me. I think there is a role reversal where the women are becoming very hard. They're acting like men. They're losing their femininity, their softness, sensuality, beauty, all of that. There's none of that is exists. And the men, sadly, are losing their masculinity. They're ashamed of it. They're being made to feel ashamed of their inherent masculinity, and they're becoming very soft. They're becoming like women. And because they're not giving they're not showing masculinity, the woman is in turn, she has to find the masculinity within herself, and while she's being a man, she can't really be a woman. So I see this. I also see this whole situation of these 10,000 genders, like gender fluidity.
mm,
I'm not a man or woman, I'm a this, that, and the other. This is very dangerous. uh, Look, you can identify with what you like. If you have a preference, that's one thing, but there is, you have to, biology stands for something, and you have to respect it. You can't just run amok around it. Actually, in India, we have three official genders, but
mm,
India is a different situation because this third gender that we have, they are honored in our society. They're respected. They're protected. They have a place. It's generational. We've been doing this for 6,000 years. It's a different story. We can have them. They can thrive in India. That won't be possible in the West. It's just not built that way. So feminism, I think, was about, it's supposed to be about duty,
mm.
and doing the right thing. A woman does what she's supposed to do, not her rights. I think in the West, it's all about rights. It's morphed into entitlement and male hating, man bashing. The man is the enemy. Let's dismantle him. Let's get rid of all men in power. Let's replace it with women in power. You know what? You will get just as much bad women leaders as men leaders. Nobody ever, I don't think there's any proof that a female is better than a man. I mean, I want the best person for the job. If it happens to be a woman, great. If it happens to be some old man, great as well. I believe in merit, and I think India especially, we have it should be about merit, and also in the US it should be about merit too. So I'm very concerned about the state of feminism in the West, especially America. You're having men who are just not interested in the sort of female movement that's going on, and they're choosing to go their own way. And it's very, very scary, because now they are completely, this movement is bigger than you think. The men going their own way, there's even a term for it. I think it's called mitgo or something like that. It's, when I heard about it, I was like shocked. I thought, are you kidding me? And you listen to these men, and they really are completely disappointed, and they're fed up, they have given up. In fact, they're like, woman has become the enemy. It's very weird. I think feminism has almost done the opposite of what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to be about fairness and just and equality. Now it's become entitlement. You're alienating the man, and then you're also alienating. What about the 90? Apparently, only 7% of women consider themselves as feminists. The other 93% of women are just women. They don't call themselves feminists. So what about that 93%? You're also alienating them. You're also silencing them. And then people like myself, who are contrarian, who have a independent view of these things. I'm a free thinker. I don't want to be told what to do. I don't conform to groupthink. Well, they're going to try to silence me or shut me down. There will be a lot of people like me, men and women, who just want to think independently. So I think there's going to be a serious backlash in the West. So I'm, critiquing that in my book. Plus, I'm introducing Shakti, because I like most things Indic and Vedic, the world doesn't know about it, although it's been around for thousands of years. It's only when the need arises, then yoga comes up and Ayurveda comes up, and suddenly everybody knows about chai lattes and turmeric milk and all of that good stuff. But it's been around for forever. So I think it's important now. This is the time for the West to learn about Shakti. And I think somebody like myself, I'm the right ambassador for it, because I hope I embody it. I have that, because I think for me, Shakti is, you can be strong and empowered, as well as very feminine and soft and vulnerable, and everything that makes a woman a woman. And why do men love women so much? Because of that beauty and softness, not because of the hard coldness, right? So I want to sort of introduce this to the world and kind of bring it back. And to the Indian woman, my message to them is, don't ape the West, because they have not got it right, to be honest, on many things. We have a system that works, and it's very comprehensive, and it's ancient, and I think it's very full of wisdom. We just need to implement it properly, I think, and we need to really go back, I think, to our Vedic philosophy and Vedic sciences, because I think everything was outlined there. So we must go back there. So that's my sort of take on feminism.
Wow, wonderfully put again, because it is equality is important, but the space is also equally important. And feminism is not going right everywhere, not only in West, even in India. So that has to be addressed well. Yes. All right. Thank you, Preeti, for your wonderful inputs on such various questions. Now, moving on to a little fun part of it, some few rapid fire, if you're okay with it.
Okay.
So, yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
go for it. I'm not prepared. I'll try to be very I'll try to be candid.
So this was a surprise thing for you. All right. So, well, we all have one person who inspires us. So, who is that one person for you in your life?
I've had many great gurus, but honestly, the person I think who's inspired me the most, or who has had the most influence in my life, is actually my father,
Wow.
because he was a very spiritual man, and he's still around. But I just grew up sort of observing him with everything, with the sadhana and spiritual side, but every other side too. And I think I wanted to be like him when I was younger, and he definitely has had a huge impact on my life. I think I am the person I am today a lot because of maybe his effect on me, and I don't think he was trying to have an effect on me. I think it was just something I took from him. So yeah.
Wow. And what's your fondest memory from your childhood?
Oh wow, so many. A few actually. One definitely going to the temples because with my parents, actually with my father, because he used to go all the time, and even from being a very very young person, I would go with him, and he would stay there for quite a while, and we had there's many I grew up in the Middle East,
Okay.
all over the Middle East, but and then Australia, but in Australia were the temples, not so much in the Middle East. I don't think there were any, but well, back then at least. But in Australia, yes, definitely. I remember going to these gorgeous temples all over. And the other memory is growing up in the Middle East. It's a desert, right? So I remember traveling with my parents and my brother. We would go for road trips and stuff. But we would always stop at these little towns, and there's these local people, local men. They would just loved new people, new foreigners, whatever, and they would invite us and give us dates and watermelon and tea and stuff. And I just have those memories, which also is a very positive kind of I think perspective or experience that I had living in the Middle East, because it's also a very warm place too, very hospitable. So you take everything, you take the good too, and that somehow had a very good impact on me, I think, because I just felt like I was loved.
I'm sure. And yeah, you're very spiritual personality, huh? Yes, so
Thank
am
you.
I. I really loved it to know. Yeah. If you could change one thing about your life, what would it be?
Wow, I try not to have regrets. I think I would not take life so seriously, because I take life way too seriously. I'm a very serious, earnest person. I think I would have let loose. I mean, I think I would take myself less serious. Maybe give others the respect that they deserve, but just be lighter, because this is all Maya anyway. Now I know that. Now I realize, okay, this is all Maya. It's all a Leela. We are playing a part, right? We're all actors on this stage. So live a little, have fun. It's okay. It's nothing is what it appears. But I think my whole life I've been just a very, very kind of sincere, serious person, which is good. But you gotta loosen up, have fun, and just maybe kind of do silly things. I never want to embarrass myself. I think I should just be more silly.
Wonderful. And what is your idea of an ideal weekend?
Ooh, I'm very adventurous. Ideal weekend, if someone says, hey, let's drive to Las Vegas, I'm like, let's do it.
Wow.
I would, and I've done that. I've done spontaneous road trips, go up to San Francisco or go to Napa Valley, whatever. It's like a 4 or 5 hour drive. I think go up there on a Friday, get there, have 2 amazing days there, you know, um, go to wineries or go to nice restaurants or parks, whatever, beaches, chill, connect, and then come back Sunday night, Monday. I like very spontaneous weekends, go to the hot springs. We have hot springs here as well, which is not far. So I like to get away. Maybe a road trip that would be ideal.
Wow. So unplanned events are always fun and exciting, more adventurous rather. Your biggest weakness.
I'm a perfectionist. That definitely I know. And again, that ties in with being too serious. I think life is not perfect. It's never going to be perfect, and you're setting yourself up for a disaster. I
Mm.
think if you have such high expectations of yourself and the world, because nobody's ever going to meet those expectations. So do your best, try to have the best standard, but just it's okay. I think I could be kinder to myself. I think I could be a little bit more easygoing with myself, I think, as a start. And
Mm.
then that also ripples across, to everybody else.
Absolutely. And one Indian food item you can't say no to.
Oh, my favorite dish is biryani. I
Oh,
love biryani, vegetable biryani, of course, but I do love biryani.
you're a vegetarian?
It's amazing. Yeah.
Are you a vegetarian?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Wow, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were the Prime Minister of India for a day, what is the first thing you would do?
Wow. Well, if this 370 and all these things had not been done, I think I would have said that. I'm trying to think. There are so many things to do. I think I would
One
ask
important
the
issue. Yeah,
one thing. I mean, the history bit is important. We have to revise our history textbooks to understand our own
very
history
important.
better. I would. That's a tricky one. It's either that or uh, I think we need some reforms. I would economic, labor, whatever, some serious reforms, and that, and also maybe the history department, give them the order to get some serious historians and Indologists, the good ones, to come and put the right account of our history ASAP. I think that that's the first thing I would do. Yeah.
That was again a wonderful response from you, Preeti. A message for social tables. Would you like to give a message for social tables?
Yes, I think that to the young people out there, I think that you should be so proud of your culture and your faith. I think, look, Hindu Dharma, Bharat has been around for 6,000 years plus, and it is the oldest continuing living civilization in the world. It is thriving today more than ever, and in fact, I think it's having a resurgence. It's really re-emerging on the global stage when the world needs it the most. So I think you should be proud of what you have, protect it, cherish it, share it with the world. I think in the next 50 years, India is going to be the emerging superpower along with the US. So we are really in the pole position. I think we have waited probably 5,000 years for this opportunity where we finally are in the pole position. So we should not squander it. So just make sure you keep electing the right people and get bad people out of politics, um, and so on. Uh,
You got my
and just
question
keep.
wrong, Preeti. You got my question wrong.
Oh, what's the question again?
The question was a message for social tables.
No, that's the message I'm telling them. I'm telling them to be proud of their culture,
Okay.
and because I'm just telling them that uh, the good days are coming. So just yeah, hang on and hold your head up high. I was giving a kind of a pretext to
Okay.
it because I think it's a deep thing. But message is keep doing what you're doing. Spreading the culture and so on. And I mean, I'm honored to be a part of your group now, and I really want to engage with all of you. So, I hope please connect with me on social media and email me or find me somewhere, and please write to me. I love to engage, connect, answer questions, whatever, and may collaborate or anything like that. I'm very excited to be sort of in this space. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. So before we conclude, what message or a word of wisdom would you like to give to our viewers?
Work hard, be your authentic self, because be yourself, because everyone else is taken. I think it's important to be authentic. Post COVID, nobody wants anything that's not real. I think the only thing we respect is something that's real. Work hard, you will get there. Believe in karmic grace. Always do your karma, do the right thing, and be happy. I think be grateful, have gratitude, and forgive those people in your life that have hurt you or that you may have hurt. I think we could all do with more forgiveness and gratitude, for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was indeed a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. It was amazing. The rapid fire was very exciting. So thank you for that. I don't think I've ever done that before, but it
Yeah.
wasn't so rapid because I had like long
Yeah.
answers to the questions. But anyway, the at least the response was quick. But it's a pleasure and a joy. I hope to come back on your platform when my book is ready. I will definitely come. Please keep a lookout for my articles. I write everywhere, and I write on Indic concepts. So please read them, share them, circulate, tell people about me. And I'm on social media. I'm very active on Twitter, Facebook. I have my own YouTube channel. And you can find me either Priety Upala or the Priety Experience. So, please keep in touch, and such a pleasure to be with you this evening.
We'll definitely stay in touch, and we'll definitely share all your social media handles.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you.